It's my pleasure to introduce our second reader for the night. Maureen Owen's most recent book is Edges of Water. Her other books include Erosion's Pole and American Rush Selected Poems. She was the publisher of Telephone Magazine and Telephone Books, and Maureen lives in Denver now and has taught for Naropa University. Her readings can be found on PennSound. Please welcome Maureen.
Thank you all for coming out, and thanks to Malvern Books for having us here. There's a pamphlet for sale, and I just wanted to mention that Barbara and I put together for the road trip that we're on, the crazy road trip, in the back, and the cover is by Pamela Lawton, a really wonderful New York artist, young artist, and it also has, we're doing a blog as we go. I'm trying to keep it exciting. And the pamphlet has a blog link in it, so you see progress. I'm going to read a few poems from Erosion's Pole. This is called Whenever I Snow. I think of Black Beauty when he was pulling a cab, standing street side under a lamppost, his dark harness gathering flakes, a jet horse becoming white powder, a dark horse disappearing. And some of my poems have double titles or really long titles. So this is called A Group of Girls from Minnesota, or Black Mascara. Not trees traced so, just kids. We hung slim buckets of choke cherries from our wrists. In neighboring galaxies, giant star factories take control, composed of cold hydrogen gas and dust. 7,000 light years from Earth, cylinder-toed geckos step onto the moon. On the road between two baptisms and a shower, they rang to say, shallow water, the mouths drop open. Not where you stand, but how long you can stand standing there in constant hypothesis. The trees are passers-by, mercurial, damp light, flat orange moon, velvet navy blue sky, fireberries. From here we see the beautifully attired drive tough Ford pickups. The oncoming organizing principle thrushed out. The dancers take turns leaping over the bonfire into Que Pasa, USA? Haircuts in London are really pretty backward. London, you are definitely not going to have a manicure there. In LA, toes must match the hands or else just don't leave the house. In New York, it's more brunette. Outside, a refrigerator floats in the blackness, shiny amid sharp stars, and the turtle who holds up the world, holds up the world. And this one also has two titles. It's dedicated to the poet Hannah Wiener, a New York poet. Secrets of the Cover Girl, or the fair and square silk ribbon in the middle of the road. I can swim, but I can't fly. Puce, aurora borealis, lake in a storm, blue or gunmetal gray, sunset lemon, raspberry, and billowed us, brushing horses, ochre or salmon spread thin, the little mirror beside my grandmother's bed. The woman got up to fix the projector, the family bunny, the family pony, the family washcloth. Now the dark sizzles with insect life, sulphurous yellow moon in the black leaves. On theory, take a bit that interests you and chew, but don't just stand there. How stunning you are, nature, in your gorgeous hypnotic violence. One doesn't simply live in the world. One must continually read it in cut-out letters on the faces of friends. Audrey Hepburn wore a size 10 shoe all her adult life. The Glistenik instep, a white glazed terracotta Sheffield pure milk bottling plant, and Hannah Wiener won't ever tap me on the shoulder at the Ear Inn again. This is just a short, very short poem called Ohashi Des. I eat differently when I use chopsticks. And I want to read a few from Edges of Water from Chax Press. This has kind of a long title, which is To Our Foreheads Shaking, Purely built ruckus of howling abstraction, or it could be dangerous for me to leave my sight. 3 Aboriginal women again, rowing a wood boat this time. My mother's house filling with water, long paddles stretching lazily over the wet gouache. At lake bottom, a maze of finely painted hunting expeditions. Smooth monster egg depiction of debris, floating dresses, pink and slate of rosé. Imagine dark-torqued mermaids you won't see. They literally go crazy, tattooed from cheap rents. Spotless, damp evening air, lifting up an island, not an ocean. Sky the color of elephants. These women glide, sleek, casual, not wearing continual explaining, not interfering with thinking. It has a normal title. It's called The Indigo Blue Headscarf Poem for Fanny. Make mine milk, Wild Bill Elliott said, roaming through the tongue's secure motion. Souls reborn in the body of bodies, the indigo blue headscarf starts life drifting in open water. Now the bones of our fingers cover our eyes, patter over our ears, trawl air to uncover what sense we are. Surely we needn't go on slurping from these tin bowls, snow shovels scraping at the ice, dealing with paper and loss. The Annunciation angel stands on her head. Ophelia has fashioned a straw and coasts serenely. Thoughts being intentions, being feelings. The day has warmed, but is this the address where we were supposed to show up? In the photo, the earth appears so far away, yet we are on it. And this is called Star-Crossed Ceramic Lovers End It All, or Scrubland. Behold a giant swath of the earth's history, once a church, then a mosque, now a museum. This happens to streetscapes in the dead of winter. Traffic comes back meaning such a linguist who insists on referring to a shot of vodka. Is it perilous to be wearing the pants of the remembered event? To be drawn into a maze of side streets, slick with packed snow, vanished by brushes dumped in water? Crunched bags of lovers, dozens of them. Joyous colored glazes, rose and pink of giant pairs of heads creating conversation. He had been that great a girlfriend. This is a slightly long time. Why that day, except that in it we took a walk by a choking ocean. Probably invisible to be lavishly on looks, anything in me slowly at times. Thatch and guzzle, shrine to pine, seagrass and sand, migratorious dabbling in the heroine's toils. Should you get to live another life, sand blowing from your teeth, ad nauseum tranquility of strangers, blousy bones, without chromosome, it's hotter than blazes, she said. Get a lot of this microphone. And I'm going to read a few from our pamphlet. I started taking care of my mother, who's 95, and she lives up in the high Sierras out of Truckee, California. And so these first few poems are about that. The first one, appropriately titled Mom. She wears my flip-flops in mid-afternoon sun. I shade her ankles and feet with my shadow. The pines nap too, still and drowsy in their altitude, as a baby breathes, soft and scarcely. It hurts my neck, but I can't stop staring up at them. Their glassy needle tops bristle, rolling, heaving, sea above. And this one is titled Dazzle Camouflage. Green that goes straight up. Green that goes straight up. Green that goes straight up, tousled locks of branches, thin green as still as bays. Firs and pines, the great green cargo of these branches, in layers, thick, green hunks of rafts of forest, pitch and foam. Kids across the way put up a makeshift stand by the side of the road, shake dust from little trucks and chant, toys for sale. They plan to buy ice cream with the money. Placing cloth chairs in the sun for her, moving to dapple shade when sun too hot, then back to sun when shade too cool. Try to find a level spot for her chair in slantedness. Move small table for water with chair. Keep moving as sun moves, tall shadows of the pines. Screeching stellar jays, dark-eyed junco. No summer insect sing, not one. Utter silence breaches. It's the last of the 8, giants up and leading 3-1. My mother's a great fan of football. And tomorrow. This has a rather long time. The queen is a triangle. The knight is a right angle. The bishop, diagonal. Moving the pawn is like the queen, only lesser, she said. The pines look woolly up November's air. She rolls her hand in crisp leaves under her chair. What are you looking for? My glove. You have both your gloves on. Oh, I thought I dropped one. This is titled Pentecost. I first saw the word facsimile on the nameplate of a racehorse's halter, a deep chestnut gelding. I, a kid standing in the shed row, mid-afternoon sun setting, his coat a red-orange fire, he leaning from the stall door. Her fingers were like little green lizards. Is it tight? except for a lowercase r. Rain had washed the ink off the note, fringed as hastily torn paper encountering a leaf. A neighbor goes into the gray stucco on the other side of the white stucco where wild cactus grows. Never let me say 3 bare boys stand, a striped strip of ribbon, chartreuse, plaster, jet, rojo, forest moss, fluttering across genitals. Shirts strung in witty dyes fold round his shoulders, button down, button open at the collar, cherry metallic jacket, panted leg, balanced on the heel of sparky ebony loafers, sand socks, a poor boy dressed for magic, rococo. And this has sort of 2 titles, or one long one. There was nothing where I haven't been since I hadn't gone for such a long time. Or everybody wants to buy your car. Swollen, braided, breathing, seascapes, landscapes, bedroom paintings. Did I come away edgy on the way back? Might those even so not just need some fabric never noticed? All the while, this uniquely insisting. What you'd guess, but don't expect. We know the names of the mistakes now. Tiny fields of you seem to squeeze the moon in a snow like bundles of sheets rolled in cotton, where dancers move their arms through heavy satin. And this work is dedicated to the New York poet Ed Friedman. And this is the title. Balmy tomorrow, Saturday more snow predicted, the lilacs are in turmoil, or Lariat. All of those years here are gone, she said in Spanish, as she picked through the wreckage littering the trailer where she and her husband and their 5 children had lived for almost a decade. The way it looked, butter moon in battered shards, 1/4 up the east wall of the beauty parlor, much as honeycomb, that face. That moon squinting out along, such a sing of cricket, katydid, hopper, and cicada, loose stitches in the seam. Chanel referred to the nuns at the orphanage as her aunts through the glassless windows. On Saturn, diamonds rained down as into a pool lit from above. Whether we were different fissures, downhill to us came a kimono woman swinging a bright Japanese lantern, igniting tufts of grass. Like a child, I have checked my closet before bed. And this poem has no title. Was death ever so beautiful, with carefully drawn wings, in a long black sheet, an orange-yellow lantern, fan in her hand? The title of this is Unbearably Slow, the Vortex Aviates Their Arrival. That's just one of the reasons filming birds is frustrating. When you leave someone, you said to yourself in the elevator going down, the folds and creases of a shirt, the threads and buttons rushing past, the instant making such economic noise, a tipping solace, awkward if you're on your own. When you leave someone, you said so yourself in the elevator going down. Here's what you should do. Borrowings chipped in haste, adumbrating a plum ferocity. Was that for being too chic, too steep for angling, perched on a painted result of things? At some point you will know artifact, how we are the result of what we do to our nature. But it being summer when you This this is dedicated to the poet Bill Bergson, a wonderful New York and California poet. He passed away in 2016. It's titled, Everyone Has Lost a Memory. She pokes me as the altar boy hoists a long poled crucifix. Look, Jesus has a broken arm. The snapped forearm swings rhythmically on its pinning. Marilyn Monroe never takes her gloves off through the whole performance. The other singer has to do all the finger snapping. Time to get out the thread. The swishing of a detail veers. Perhaps our brains do all the guesswork, winking. We see the nose and upper mouthpiece of the iron war mask fastened with tiny latches shaped as doves. And no, heat, thick and soundless, baffles the leaves, but the tree shades itself. And this last poem is short. It's a short last poem. It's titled Light, Color, Composition, and Plasticity. Listen carefully, it's very short. Charles Olson and Edward Dahlberg double dated.